As a child, I remember having read the famous poem, Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening by Robert Frost. And the last para, which I'm sure many of you know and remember, but I shall reiterate it here again. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. Over the years, I have ingrained these values and realized that one has to keep walking, one has to reach a destination, and one has to continue that rhythm of life. So friends, let me begin by mentioning about my story in brief. I would like to take you all to early 2000s. I come from a small town called Panipat in Haryana. Most of you would know that Haryana has so many positives to its credit. But we also have had the issue of being a state which has been predominantly patriarchal. The societal ecosystem expects the females to be performing the traditional roles of being a housewife or a homemaker, or at the maximum undertake jobs which allows them to justify the domestic front fully. This was an odd which I was also facing during my childhood and education days. Being brought up in a middle class household, dreams tend to shrink and one may not aim too high. From career point of view, I had thought I would join private sector and follow the traditional path of my family. But here I would like to share how I decided to join civil services. I came across civil services during my third year of graduation in Shriram College of Commerce, Delhi University. I was already doing CS along with my BCom honors, but the feeling to do something for society and choose a platform by which I can contribute towards the welfare of the people and society was backing me from my subconscious. And it was my inner drive which actually pushed me to attempt for appearing civil services. The opportunity it gives to connect with the masses and society and to work for your nation, that opportunity, my friends, is unparalleled. When I discussed this idea with my parents, they had all those little apprehensions. The All India services are cadre based. They were worried about service, cadre, family life, etc. But then when we had a dialogue, they finally agreed. But my father suggested me to have a fallback career option. Therefore, I decided to do LLB from Delhi University after my CS was over. Then I started preparation for civil services also in the year 2004. And I also started my job as CS on a part-time basis in 2004 itself. So from 2004 to 2007, these three things were moving simultaneously in my life. Focus was on civil services preparation. I was also doing LLB, which was a regular course from Delhi University, and I was also doing my part-time job. Those were the days of struggle, various choices to be made, various sacrifices to be made, a kind of self-quarantined life wherein I was committed to my own self. I completed my LLB in 2007 and I got selected into civil services in my second attempt in 2008 with All India rank 13th. Friends, the support of my family has been the crucial reason, and it enabled me to challenge the prevailing societal ecosystem then and even now. I became the first one in my family to join civil services. And despite of me being CS LLB, I shifted from corporate sector to government to serve the nation and society. Also, I'm fortunate, I am blessed to have a very supportive husband, and my kids have been very much supportive. Now, many of you might be assuming that once you are selected into the IAS, life becomes smooth and you attain everything under the sun. But my friends, let me tell you, it was just a beginning of altogether new challenges, new opportunities, many of which I did not even anticipate earlier. Starting from my training in 2008, my life started changing. Labasna, Mussoorie, which I joined for training in September 2008, was the first hostel for me in my life. After training, another challenge came to me when the cadres were allocated. I got empty cadre and was allotted state of Tripura. I joined there in June 2009, a beautiful state in the northeastern part of our country. having different language, different culture, customs, having different food habits, and issue of connectivity to an extent. But I took it as an opportunity of learning new experiences. I learned Bengali language. I tried adapting to their culture, to their customs, to their food habits, and mingled with the people. All this helped me during my initial stint of more than 7 years from 2009 to 2016. If I look back, the day when I cleared civil services and the day which I face today in bureaucracy has been full of experiences, learnings, both in Tripura and Haryana. But I feel that there are various factors which affect the public service delivery, like the political will, influences, public expectations, limitations in infrastructure in forms of resources, both human and financial, frequent transfers press from media, and the kind of connect which we have with the citizens, especially after the digital interventions and e-governance. So there are a lot of dynamics and equations which ultimately affect our working and decision making. However, it is very important that rather than giving up, we stand upright and give our honest efforts with conviction and determination. Friends, I would like to share one example of my initial days of posting, how I tried to connect with the people. As my first posting in 2010, I was posted as SDM Ampasa in Dhalai district, Tripura, a predominantly tribal village. Maldapara was one of the remotest villages of the subdivision, and there were issues of connectivity. But through the regular intervention of administration, the active support of BSF and youth, we could mobilize the working of departments like school, Anganwadi center, primary health center, etc. And similar initiatives we continued when I was ADM and collector. So I tried to make people overcome the odds which they were facing in their daily lives. But I would also mention here that it indirectly helped me to develop my personality, to understand the issues with more maturity, and become an effective administrator. Challenges continued along with my professional growth. In 2016, I came to Haryana on inter-cadre deputation. It was professionally a new slate for me, but my work experience at Faridabad, Jhajjar, Gurugram has been quite varied and diverse. The odds actually compel you to learn and perform. Friends, many people do ask me whether I feel any prejudice or bias or challenges as a woman administrator, or is there any discrimination with respect to the role as male and female bureaucrat? Well, I would say from my last 12 to 13 years of experience in government, there is no such inherent bias against a woman administrator. But yes, we cannot deny that there are certain issues, which I would rather say occupational hazards, revolving more around women than men. I feel that still certain postings are considered more appropriately to be headed by male officers. There's always a doubt of the people in the ecosystem around you, in your work delivery capabilities, in your commitments, which compels the women officers to keep on proving themselves constantly. Many a times, for lady officers, their family and career progress is not in tandem and maybe rather non-harmonious with each other. But ultimately, it is the act of balance which matters. I firmly believe that efforts to bring in gender parity in society need to be taken by all. I've always tried to take such initiatives during my various postings at Tripura, Haryana, and even today. From my own example, I can share that I became the first lady CEO or the Commissioner of Agartala Municipal Council way back in 2012, the first lady District Magistrate and Collector of Gomti District, Tripura in 2014, first CEO of Faridabad Smart City Limited in 2016, and first lady CEO of GMCBL City Bus Gurugram in 2020, very recently. A very important reflection for all of us, so how have we been able to face an odd collectively, and how we overcame it is a response by all of us, the response by humanity to COVID-19. India and the world today face unprecedented challenge in form of COVID-19. This odd or the crisis inflicted us and affected us all in many ways. However, did we give up? No, we did not give up. We tried to explore. We tried to experiment, to analyze and find out a way out of this. We stood against the odd, and today we have derived the cure, the vaccine. Still, the fight is not over, and we are moving forward. So, my dear friends, what do we do finally? How do we face the odd? It's very important that you identify what drives you, identify your purpose. The courage and persistence to keep going on is powered by your own purpose. Keep reminding yourself why you started it in first place and what drives you to keep moving. Against all odds, it is very much important that you have few attributes, which I believe are determination, tenacity, focus, willpower, positive attitude. Friends, I'm sure many of us have seen those determined ants walking relentlessly and with diligent focus. Often we do not have a plan of, how would we be facing an odd or challenge or an adversity. But we must plan. It is very important to have a response matrix, which would be giving you options, so which we actually term as scenario building. Now, what are the possible scenarios and what is the response matrix? Ask yourself 3 questions. What is the best that can happen? What is the worst that can happen? What is most likely to happen? So if the best happens, you would be extremely happy and satisfied. If the worst happens, you are prepared for it and you will face it. And if most likely the thing which you thought of it happens, you will accept it with contentment. Over the years, as a student and as an IAS officer, I have felt that we face challenge, but it is very important to determine how do we respond. Either we sink or we swim. For me, sinking has never been an option, so swimming is the only way out. In order to swim, I have created a framework in my mind, which I call ENNO, E-N-N-O. Endure, negotiate, navigate, overcome. I reiterate the points here. Begin with the end in your mind, identify your burning purpose, recognize the importance of today, avoid delays, time is of the essence, perseverance is very important, keep doing and doing it. Have someone in life for mentorship, seek help. I'm sure most of the youngsters have the potential to excel, they are very confident, but sometimes seeking help is also very important. Be open to learning, even though you may know many things around you, but may not know everything under the sun. Friends, keep reminding yourself of what drives you, identify your path, and achieve your goals with your own strength, determination, consistent efforts. Let me ask you, if a tiger was chasing you, I'm sure you will not be looking for a motivational speaker to guide you. What you will do, you'll instantly run. So we can all hear motivational speeches and read motivational books. We want, even I do that. But does it end there? No. Things are incomplete until you do it. Doing is most essential. Until you practice what you know, you won't be able to achieve what you want in life. So be prepared to run and run fast. In the end, I would mention a prose which I always recall. तुम समय की रेत पर छोड़ते चलो निशान, देखती तुम्हें जमीन देखता है आसमान. Love what you do and do what you love.